Hello, everybody. It is BayoCakes98 here, and if you're watching this video, then you've probably just seen the finale of Poke Survivor Back to the Past. And if you haven't seen the finale, I recommend you do so. If you're given spoilers from the finale, that is officially not my problem as of right now. So let's get into this. What is this video entirely going to do? Well, I want to explain a few things. I want to go into why Slowking won and why Cubone lost, and addressing the issues behind that, because I already know that there's going to be some people who are disappointed, and I understand that, and we'll get into that. And I also want to discuss next season and what I'm deciding to do for that. So let's get into why Slowking won, and it's very simple. It's a very simple reason. I felt Slowking was more of a consistent character, rather than Cubone, who was a minor character in the early days and really only had his awakening towards the end, like as episodes went on. Cubone went from pretty under the radar. The only major episode he was in, like he was a major character, I think was episode 4 and episode 7. But then again, those were more of the Krabby Show, so I don't really count that. He didn't really become prominent until the last 3 or 4 episodes. And I don't think that's winner material right there. I think that's more someone who could have awakening towards the end and give people maybe a false sense is the wrong word to use, but kind of a mislead, just to not make it so obvious that Slowking was winning. With Slowking, though, he has been a prominent character in every single episode. There hasn't really been an episode where Slowking hasn't had any confessionals. There is not a single one that Slowking has had 0 confessionals. And Slowking, and that's because Slowking is such a prominent character, and he was running the show. And maybe people saw that as predictable, but I saw it as predictable yet unpredictable when I showed that Cubone had the chance of winning. So when Cubone was finally voted out, and I mean, you guys saw how Emolga was really conflicted about who to take, Slowking or Cubone. That was kind of a representation of myself in the Poke Survivor Back to the Past. What Emolga was thinking was, okay, do I have Cubone win, who the audience would love if they won, or do I pick the person do I think played the better game and would be a much more successful winner rather than someone who was just an underdog and wins anyway? Because herder underdog always wins. That's, to me, that's not how it works. Slowking was a strategic dominant force, and it would just be an injustice to the show had he not won. To me, at least. And maybe a lot of people would be like, oh, Slowking was a shit winner, yada, yada, yada. You can't deny the fact that Slowking was a dominant force, and I see so many shows have these heroic people that everyone likes win the show, but in some cases they're bland as bread. In other cases, they're just underdogs just because they're not the alpha male archetype. Slowking was just a strategic genius. That was the reason why he made it to the end. Not because people liked him, but because he was a strategic genius and he had the votes on his side. Because, yeah, and you can say that he had mindless drones. I do see that argument, but I don't necessarily think so. I think he was really good at manipulating people to think he's not a threat. But in reality, he was the biggest threat out there. And no one really saw fit to get rid of him. So yeah, that's why Slowking won, was because he was a strong strategic force, and he had a strong game, and he was able to manipulate people, and he was able to make it to day 39, and I think he would have been a much more solid winner over Cubone. I would be more upset if he got voted out at Final 3 rather than lose at a Final 2. And again, why Emolga didn't win was pretty obvious. She was just kind of a cunt. No offense. But she just really wasn't an entity out there. She was actually originally one of the winner. My very first draft of Poke Survivor Back to the Past, the final 3 was intact. Nothing had changed about the final 3, and Emolga was supposed to win. Originally, it was Slowking that was the GOAT. Nobody liked Slowking. Everyone thought he was just an asshole. But no, as I worked on the show, and it was around about episode 5, I think, when I made episode 5, I was like, you know what? I feel like Slowking would be a much stronger winner overall. And Emolga wouldn't nearly be as much of a good winner as Slowking is. just simply because of the fact Slowking is much more of a strategic force and he has much more of a character than Emolga does. And I know a lot of people like to watch Slowking and his dominant gameplay, but that's why he won. And then next, I'm going to talk about Pokemon Big Brother. No, this is not a camp. Don't worry. Um, so the whole goal of this show is it's a Big Brother show. It is really hasn't been done. I mean, there's like highlights of people's Big Brother camps, but nobody that I've seen has made a legitimate Big Brother show completely scripted. And I don't know why. I mean, it's a really good show to base it off of. It would probably be a lot of episodes, but then again, so are a lot of TPIs. There's a TPI out there, Michael Show, 60 episodes. And the average Big Brother season, it's like 33. That's nothing. That's how much I had planned for Total Pokemon Game On. Just about. It's not something that's hard to do. I thought that it would be a good idea. It's something that's a change of format. And that was the important part for me. I wanted to change up the format, but keep the same writing style and keep the same humor, bring you some great characters, but the only thing that's different is setting and format. That's it. That's the only thing that has changed. If you do the same thing over and over, it's going to get stale. And I just wanted to do something kind of different just to shake things up. So, yeah, there's 16 house guests. I plan to have 28 episodes, roughly. I'm not sure yet. I'm in the planning phases of it right now, and I don't have an official release date. Originally, I said summer 2018, but I don't think that's necessarily a good decision on myself because I don't know if I can make summer 2018. Because again, the show is still in its planning phases. I mean, probably towards the tail end of its planning phases, but still in its planning phases. It's just something that's a work in progress, and I'll let you guys know when I have more progress on the project. Other than that, I really don't have anything else. I hope you guys have just a wonderful holiday, whether it be Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever the hell you celebrate. I just hope you enjoy that. It's been a real pleasure working on this show for a year, over a year, even throughout the whole hiatus situation. And I just feel pretty proud that I finally finished a show. Yeah, that's about it. Bayo Cakes 98 out.